This season of Earned Influence, I'm joined by Wendy Reeves, Mindy Williams, and Kaylee Felio. They each bring different perspectives from automotive, leadership, service parts, BDC, and everyday challenges that people in the dealerships are facing. Over the last few seasons that you've now seen, as well as the next few episodes you're going to see from this season, we're going to have conversations about those same specific topics, understanding what it takes to build real influence through the work you actually do. Not theoretical conversations, not pulling things out of the sky, real work. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Earned Influence, and welcome to the Wrench Turners podcast.
It's been about a month. I stopped posting partially because it's summertime. I have my kids completely full time. So kudos for people that actually like work and have their kids and homeschool all of that. I know a couple people that do that. So yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But I do have a 2-year-old. So he's potty trained. Anyways, horrible. I have questions about that too, if anyone's potty trained a boy. But okay, back on subject. I took a break because I've been burned out. I go on social media and it's just long posts and they don't feel like, I know it's the person's idea. I know it's them kind of talking, but it doesn't feel like it used to feel. Like, remember when we used to get on LinkedIn and it was like, I don't know, off the wall stuff. It wasn't even that strategic. So I was like thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? I need to just stop using AI because I'm using it to help me have better hooks or brainstorm and fix my grammar or make it flow better. But it's like, that's just BS. No one wants that. like, So I literally have just been open. Going to Women in Automotive completely helped me on top of all the other things I'm working on because it gave me all these ideas and examples where I can just write it out and then it's joyful. I love it. I'm not that good of a writer, but I love expressing myself and how I'm feeling. So I guess my question to you guys is and then going through that, I've been utilizing it in like leadership and how I can ask better questions and through demos, through leadership meetings, growth of the company, all of those things, being more tactful. So how are you guys using AI and how do you keep it authentic, especially when it comes to like leadership and your conversations and all of that? I don't know if that's a good question, but that's what I'm going to ask.
That's a great question, Kaylee. And I think we've got, not only do we have an AI guru on the panel that we can ask that to, but I think all of us are using AI in some capacity or another. If you're not using AI, I don't know. I don't even know how to respond to that if you're not using it in some capacity, but there is levels to it. How you use it, where you use it, how you implement it, knowing that you need to have guardrails, especially when you're talking about business. There's lots of things in there that we can discuss, and I'm really thankful for the question. Mindy, how are you tactically using it inside the shop? Because I know there's some things, and especially there's guardrails that you have to use inside of your business that allow or don't allow you to plug information in, right? There's privacy standards, there's corporate things working for the group that you work for that you need to be careful of. So how are you using AI to tactically move about your day from a leadership standpoint?
Yes. So I use AI for when I have to do trainings and things like that too. I also let it help me do the dirty work, basically. So I still keep it genuine with any kind of customer interactions. I'll use ChatGPT for like if a customer, we do follow-ups on all of our customers. So I'll use ChatGPT to help me sometimes respond, but then I go in there and I actually edit it because I don't ever want it to feel like it's just some AI tool that's responding back to a customer because you can tell. And for me personally with the social media stuff, I've never used AI for any social media stuff. So that would be new for me, but I definitely see where you're coming from because you can tell when somebody has talked like through AI rather than themselves. I personally like the real feeling. I do think that AI is definitely amazing at the clerical stuff, but I feel like using it too much for customer feedback or conversations is taking some of the human out of the conversating, if that makes sense. Like you can tell if I send something to somebody and they reply back to a ChatGPT email, you can absolutely tell that it's a ChatGPT email. So I really like to try to keep it more personal because I feel like our industry is losing that in a sense. We're not as personal anymore. We're all data driven. And when we use AI to do everything for us, I feel like you can tell that. But I think it's great to use for like reports that you're doing, anytime I do our KPIs and I have to do math, I don't do math anymore. I'm like, chat, you do math, you know? And so that's very helpful to me. But for the personal stuff, I like to keep that one on one and not robots. So personally.
Gotcha, gotcha. It's super important to help take that extra leg up because when you're doing spreadsheet after spreadsheet after spreadsheet, and if you have API access through like secure API access through any one of the LLMs, it really allows you to take things to the next level. And when, like you said, the tactical responses to customers, especially when they've responded to you in nothing but chat, and you get all the M dashes and you get
Hmm.
the exact same three examples plus an output and three examples plus an output, three examples. And it's like, I want to know the human behind this email. I want to know the human behind this text message. And I challenge on a regular basis, and I want to hear Wendy's feedback here in a second, but I challenge on a regular basis where if we allow too much AI in our business, no matter how well it can respond to anything. And I understand about AI voice and AI text message responses and AI based email responses and a lot of vendors out there creating these communication devices. But when you take the humanity out of service, you lose the ability to build trust. Because at some stage the customer is going to see that the person that they've been discussing something with for 30 minutes isn't real, and now they no longer have trust in the communication that anything is going to be done, and it's been statistically proven up to this point. Now, there is other things to discuss in here that I'll chime in on here in a minute, but I want to hear Wendy's response specifically about what because Wendy does so much with AI, I'm really interested to hear what she does tactically from a leadership perspective inside her BDC based business. Wendy?
So, gosh, so many things. And so many of them are, I try to find solutions that I can share with those that I lead. And when I'm building BDCs or I'm coaching BDCs or starting new processes for BDCs that don't have all the right pieces connected right, I like to always kind of MacGyver things. I don't want them to have additional spend. I want them to put together a solution with what they have at hand. And if they're currently using an AI that's even, let's call it ineffective, I like to introduce things that they can run in conjunction with the other one so that they can kind of A/B test it. And I like it to be gifts that I can leave the team with that they can learn and wrap their head around and understand because there was such a slow adoption to the usage of AI. I'll give you a good example. One of our dealers in Tucson. I built them because you'll find if you ask your people, you'll find out a lot of people are using ChatGPT for work and they're using the free version and they're putting all the PII for the dealer out there and they're putting it out on the World Wide Web, which means that their competitors can get that information as well. And they can get all your secret sauce and potentially have a competitive advantage. So that said, I built them a ChatGPT Pro bot, both for my Train the Trainer series, where I can literally configure it. Like when we have our weekly performance calls, I can say, this is an example of the reporting. This is what I want to introduce every week for KPIs that I want to measure. And then I want to do weekly analyses on the data. And you guys, I can put the report in 5 minutes before a coaching call with a leader and boom, it was worse a year ago. It's getting better, but AI makes a lot of mistakes. So you always have to fact check it and you have to look at it and you have to read it. But that said, they did that. They started doing that and they decided that they trusted it so much that 6 months later, they went to Dealership Accelerator and they had the biggest month they ever had in the first month of service with that. So I think it's important that our users, we have to get buy-in regardless of the tool. So if we empower our own people within our own companies, whether we're in a dealership or we're a vendor, we can share that experience with our teammates or our leadership or our dealers that we serve, whatever, and we can get more confident about the way AI is today. Because we
Mhm.
started the human side of AI 3 years ago. There was like, nobody knew what they were doing. Today, we had like this company on our today that they've got the consistent AI usage on the website for a trade eval tool. They've got it in the CRM mining the database, and they've got it in the service department. The point is they're using the same AI, giving the same responses, the same vehicle evaluation. So you don't have to worry whether you're looking at a declined repair in the service department and you're looking at whether it's a good time to consider an upgrade, and you're looking at the equity they might have. Or if you have somebody cold that instead of an additional spend for a trade pending, for an Edmunds, for whatever trade eval tool, it's all consistent with the same database from your own community, your own CDP, whatever, and it's consistent. So there's a lot of ways in which you can do that, but keep an eye on your people. Make sure they're not using full versions. I mean, free versions. The first step I took that I really dig, you guys, if you have Google-based or Gmail-based email platforms within your companies or the dealers that you serve, I like the Refine tool when I'm composing an email, because I voice text half the time. I hate sitting there like this, especially if I decide to let my nails go long for a convention, right? And I like the Refine tool, you guys. It's amazing. It makes me, it helps me to pour out my thoughts, do a mind dump, but then articulate it better with the usage of the AI tool that's right there and it's free. And then the last thing I do is I keep my ear to the ground about what's good and what's not. And I take, for Kaylee, for my social, I would still do a mind dump into a Claude pin, into a recorder, put myself on a Zoom, do whatever, just pour it out like I want to say it, and then take it and put it somewhere like DeepGram where you can get a written transcript based on the audio, and then you can ask it to summarize for you, to give you bullet points for conversation or talking points and whatever it was you want to share. And then lastly, I love perplexity.ai. Tim Hayden turned me on to it 3 years ago. It feeds from Google and to Google now, today, but it's what I've used for a search engine, and it will give you complete answers. It will give you market trends, this, that, the other. So when you're considering a relevant topic for conversation for social posting, it will give you what's hot and what's not.
Interesting. From a service advisor, from a sales manager point of view, that can be very helpful with the amount of volume of emails that we get in a day. Again, be careful, as Wendy noted, make sure you are secure before you do anything with AI with regards to your business. Please do your due diligence before you do those things. But if you have the opportunities to refine emails, one of the things that I love that piece, because if you can make, let me see if I can say this succinctly. I heard this a long time ago. Why say something in 30 words when you can say it in 10? So that concept in everything that you write, whether it's a post on social, whether it's an email or a text message, you don't necessarily need all of the details. Sometimes details matter. I'm a data guy. I love detail. I love granular context. Most of the time, like 98% of the time, you need very little information to be able to make a conversation go to the next step, get somebody over the edge, influence someone into a decision, whether it's saying yes to a repair or saying yes to a job or saying yes to a promotion or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it requires less information than you believe. So that refine is a big deal. From a leadership standpoint, anything you can do to reduce your time doing monotonous tasks, Kaylee, do it. But if you are not deep into Claude and how it can connect to various different MCPs and what they can do for you, I would highly recommend that you spend some time and invest the energy to see what you can automate that you're already doing as much as you can. Things like an email. Case in point, I get between 200 and 400 emails a day. I get between 200 and 500 text messages, group chats, or DMs a day, every day. So I have to manage my time as carefully as I can, or else I literally go into a void of time suck. So I now have connectors that look at my emails every day and provide me a summary and a list of this email needs a response. I have detail summaries that go through Slack. It tells me all of the things that were said. It summarizes all of the things that were said. My priority contacts in Slack, it says, this person said this person said this, do you need to follow up with this today? Yes or no? The really cool thing is I've now built the connectors where you can click and it's either yes, you do something, or it's a no, I don't have to do anything. If it's a yes, it drops down a little window to say for me to type out what to do. and then it will put something on my calendar either later the day or whenever I tell it to actually work on that thing. So anything that you can do to crush all that time down like a soda can so that you can spend more time doing the things like posting for the business or reaching out to clients or spend more time prepping for demos. Things that you can do, to Wendy's point, you can speak things into existence, get the AI to summarize, plug it into another AI that's good at doing design tool, and then templatize and wireframe what you want to build so that when you are trying to speak something into existence as a sales leader, a marketing leader, as somebody who's in customer service or anything, if you have a tool that you supply to the world in some capacity, you could then go to dev and say, this is what I want. It saves an incalculable amount of time. And now, what does that mean for technicians, service advisors, and so forth? Well, from the service side of things, it's the same thing. If you are a technician and you work for Toyota and you're in the Toyota diagnostic portal and you're trying to find stuff and clicking buttons, trying to find things, and it just doesn't make any sense to you, speak the change into existence into Claude. Have Claude design the thing that's in your brain and then send the information in a PDF, and you can send that email to engineering and say, hey, I can't find anything that I'm looking for. This is what I want it to look like so that when I go in, I can go click, 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 done, found. It may never go anywhere, but guess what? You did something about it. And then you could also say, hey, service manager, this is what I saw. This is what I did. This is an output. You want to talk about getting opportunities to be promoted? That's the kind of stuff you got to do. Talking about influencing promotions, influencing raises, influencing what happens in your team. I really appreciate the question, Kaylee. I think there's a lot of useful tools and tactics in there that we can use in the service departments. It's going to be the end of this episode of season 3 of Earned Influence. I really hope you enjoyed the question today. Hopefully the tactical insights are something that you can utilize in your business and your life tomorrow. Again, thank you very much for listening, for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. And as always, negative pushes, positive pulls, and always clean your toys before you put them away.
Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, and tune in for the next episode.